Let's have a look at service equipment. Firstly, cups and mugs. Each and every establishment will have their own set of cups and mugs. You need to ensure that you know the standard for which recipes are served in which type of cup or mug. Generally, cups are smaller than mugs, so the recipes that require more liquid will then require a mug, and vice versa. Something like an espresso should always be served in the espresso cup, which is a much smaller cup with a small saucer. The vitally important rule about cups, mugs, and saucers that you need to remember is by no means may you ever serve a coffee or beverage on a chipped or cracked piece of crockery. No matter how small the chip, we need to remember that chips gather grease and dirt, as well as holding lots of dangerous bacteria, so these can make the guests sick. Broken, chipped, or cracked pieces of crockery are to be thrown out and written off as stock. Even to keep them as backups is not acceptable. Let's recap with a few tips and hints to remember when handling crockery and cutlery. Handle with care. Crockery is delicate and costs a lot of money to replace. Never stack your cups or mugs at any time. Always be aware of the noise that your cups, saucers, and mugs are making. Be sure to keep the noise to a minimum in order to not disturb our guests. Never ever put crockery on the ground, even if you are overloaded. These items are always to be stored above the ground. If guests see crockery on the ground, they will immediately think that it is not stored in the correct way and that every cup you give them could be dirty. Always carry all of your small items on a tray. This will include most of the crockery used in the service of coffee because these items have delicate parts and if they dropped, they will most definitely break. Now let's have a look at the service equipment. There are a few pieces of equipment that will help us to serve our guests to the best of our ability. We always need to ensure that when we deliver a drink to our guests, a dish or any accompaniment, that it is placed and presented in the best possible way. First, let's have a look at trays. It is essential to carry items on a tray. It presents the items in a more professional way, as well as allowing you to carry more than one thing at the same time without dropping them. Always ensure that the tray you use is spotless and free from any spills, sugar, stains, and marks. If your establishment requires a tray cover or folded serviette on the tray, ensure that these are just as spotless. They are the first thing the guest will see when you come to their table. The other service equipment consists of polished, uniform cutlery, such as teaspoons, which are served along your prepared drink, and possibly in the sugar bowls. Be sure that whatever cutlery you place on the table, that it is uniform, which means they all are the same, that they are professional, and that they are beautifully polished. It is unprofessional to have several different types of cutlery designs and styles on the table at the same time. The sugar bowls will also need to be presented, either at the delivery of the coffee drink or already displayed on the table. We need to be sure that they are always full and spotlessly clean, with no clumps or mess. The milk jugs need to be presented with the appropriate coffee, and also we always need to have requested would the guest like hot or cold fresh milk. We always need to present this to the guest beautifully, with no drips or spills. Take note of the small details and your coffee will get the presentation that it deserves.